So to help break all of this down for us is political science professor David McCuan at Sonoma State. Welcome, Professor.
Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for joining us this morning. I want to ask you this. Sources close to former president tell us that he's gaming out how this indictment can help him politically. So I want to ask you, how do you think this will help or hurt him in the future?
Right. Yeah. Good morning. So there's two quick points. One is that, look, for Donald Trump, the legal and the political are fused. So it's no surprise that last night he gives a speech where he takes on the judge, he takes on the prosecution, and really anyone who he feels is persecuting them, and then turning that exactly to his own focus for the political fight that's ahead. He freezes the Republican primary. He holds that at least through December. It probably lessens the number of challengers that come at him in the primary. And 90% of politics is about the calendar. It's about timing. And Donald Trump is effectively locking in the Republican nomination this far ahead. Now, given that, if we kind of pan out and look at kind of the forest from the trees, Republicans didn't have a good day yesterday, right? They lose that Supreme Court justice vote in Wisconsin. You have the indictment. This will not be the only indictment, and it will be hanging over the president, as Christian talked about in his lead-in piece, through the primary period early next year. Nonetheless, while that hurts Donald Trump in a general election, it does help him immeasurably in a Republican primary and position himself to be their nominee.
So I know you mentioned the remarks from Trump on yesterday. Let's go back to that because it was kind of a campaign style speech that he kind of gave. So was there anything you heard him say that could potentially obstruct or accelerate Trump's return to the White House?
Right. So if we look at that speech and we look at kind of the narrative that Donald Trump's laying out, you have this really kind of sordid tale, right? You're going to have Stormy Daniels, Karen McDougal, David Pecker from the National Enquirer. They spend more time talking about UFOs and alien abductions than anything else. On one side, you're going to have that. The other side, you're going to have a prosecution, which is going to have to make a tough case. That tough case is going to be taking state level charges, those Class E felonies, 34 of them, and converting them or trying to link them with tax evasion charges, with federal campaign finance law. That's all going to be very difficult. And then you have witnesses that may be problematic, like Michael Cohen, who will also appear at trial. All of that means that the burden, as it should be, is going to be on the prosecution. But there's a long way to run here. And so the politics of this are going to change each day, each week. In the near term, to Trump's advantage. In the longer term, hurting the Republican brand, especially as we look to the general election, for general election swing voters, what we call the purple people, in November 2024.
All right, so aside from the arraignment, are there any other investigations involving Trump similar to ones that we've seen with past presidencies?
Well, I mean, look, past presidencies, certainly, I mean, Donald Trump has been comparing himself, in his own words, to Richard Nixon. And an indictment is not good for you long-term for your political legacy. And while Donald Trump has skirted the law or been around the ends of the law, if you want to think of it that way, especially on the criminal side for decades, what is happening with Jack Smith and dueling investigations in Washington around the January 6th uprising, around his role in the secret documents case, combined with what happens in Fulton County, Georgia, all of those things could potentially be indictments this summer. It's probably speeds that process up in the near term, but still we're talking about trials and or pretrial motions, things that carry on to the end of this year and into next year, perhaps even into the Iowa caucus early debate period that we see going on with voters for Republicans. Helps his base, but hurts him in the general election and hurts the Republican brand more broadly in that general election, especially if Democrats have an okay economy. It's interesting to watch, because Trump's personal travails, joining the legal with the political, is exactly his persona, both in politics and as his brand.
You've given us great insight, Professor. Thank you so much, Professor David McCuan.